following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
How are y'all doing? I know it's a little chilly outside, but we're gonna try and have a good day today. Even though I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about that I'm not all that necessarily happy about. But what else is new? So, thanks for joining Casey Shake Carl's, of course, brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Today we're gonna talk. We're going to talk some Tennessee ball stuff as far as Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman are both out for the Orange Bowl. Darnell Wright has declared for the draft, but I believe he's going to try and play in the bowl game. And then we're going to talk Braves trade for Sean Murphy. And we're also going to talk the Titans getting absolutely murdered by the Jaguars before we finish off with high school sports, as usual. So, let's get on into the first take. Of course, like I said, this is going to be about Hyatt and Tillman. Both of them have opted out of the bowl game, and they're going to get ready for their draft. And I'm just going to go ahead and start off with this. I know it bothers a lot of people whenever the players don't play in a bowl game. I'd love to watch them play it in the bowl game, but it's not a playoff game, and I'm not really all that. I don't really think I'm all that upset about it, if I'm being honest, as far as whether or not they're playing. I'd like I said, I'd like to see them play, but it could be worse. It could be worse. There could be more players out, more stuff like that. But there is a part of me that wants to see. I do want to see some of these guys play now. Some of the guys that are on the team that are going to play next year. I do want to see those guys play. So, yeah, I think that's going to be fun. Squirrel White is the main one for me. I do want to see Squirrel, and I want to see him play in this offense with maybe, Walker Merrill. I think Brew McCoy will be back next year, so it'll be fun to see him. I kind of want to see these new guys and see what they can do. Of course, with Milton, who's probably going to be the starting quarterback next year. I think he's going to return. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure he's going to return next year. And if I had to guess, I'd say they'd probably start him over Nico or Taven Jackson. So, we'll see how that works out next year. But as far as this year, I just kind of wanted to talk. Like I said, a lot of people get really, really upset when these guys don't play in the bowl game. I'll be honest, I don't understand why they don't. I know that there's always a possibility of getting injured, but you can have a non-contact injury running around in your yard. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I guess the injury part of it is important, and they do want to get ready for the draft. And I'm not making the decision for these kids. There's a lot of money on the line, millions of dollars. Tillman and Hyatt both have a chance, I think, of making it into the first round. I think they're both definitely at least second or third round receivers. That's the grade that I think not. There's Todd McShay, and then there's the old guy with the goofy looking hair. They got in an argument with the Colts general manager like 40 years ago. I forget his name. Mel Kiper. That's what I was trying to think of. Mel Kiper has Tillman and Hyatt both ranked, I think, near the end of the first round, maybe start of the second round. So they definitely both have a great opportunity to go on to the next level, compete professionally. I understand why they are doing that. I understand why they're trying to get ready to do that. I'm like everybody else. I kind of wish they would play. Now, I guess the difference between me and most people that you see on Facebook is there are some people that are just really upset. They think the kids should have to play, and that there should be punishments and that they should take away some of the things that they get for not playing. And I think a lot of that's just kind of nonsense, but that's just me. Like I said, I wish they would play. I'd love to watch them play. But both Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt have put in more than their fair share of time for this program. And I'm not going to fret over them missing one game. Plus, like I said, I think Squirrel White's faster than Jalen Hyatt anyway, so it's going to be fun to watch him. Think about Jalen Hyatt. He scored, 15, 16 touchdowns this year? 12 of them, 13 of them have been on wheel routes, and I think 2 of them have been on some kind of slant or post over the middle. So, I mean, it's not like – I'm not saying Jalen Hyatt's not good, but I think Squirrel can come in and I think he can run those routes, and I think Squirrel's a good player. And like I said, it's going to be fun to see him and how he's going to kind of take over that spot for next year anyway. I wish, if they're gonna allow the players to bow out of the bowl game, which is fine by me. If you do have these early enrollees and they come in and they practice on bowl week, it'd be fun if they could play. Starting to ask way too many questions, and we all know the NCAA is too lazy to actually sit down and come up with something for that. So I'm not going to hold my breath for that one, but I'm not really all that upset about it. Like I said, both of those guys have put in a lot to help kind of right the ship. Tennessee may not win 10 games next year, but they're definitely in better shape than they were 48 months ago, even 24 months ago. So, and both of those guys are a big reason why Tennessee is in much better shape than it was just a few years ago. So, like I said, I'm not going to get upset. I'm not mad at those guys. It's never really bothered me. Tillman has been injured on and off all year, so him taking this game off is I think it was good for him. I think that's what he needed to do. Once Tillman did that, I kind of assumed that's what Hyatt was going to do, and it did. So, let's see. I think, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the DMA read, and then we're going to do a real quick commercial. We love our commercials. So Casey's Take brought to you by DMA and DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522. Let's go to a commercial.
At Dixon Medical Associates, your health is our #1 priority. With over 40 providers, our goal is to bring excellent, convenient, and comprehensive medical care to our community. Dixon Medical Associates, a destination for care.
Now, thanks for coming back. Thanks for sticking with us. Now that we're back, I'm pretty sure whenever I sent all this stuff to Justin earlier, I told him the second take was going to be Titans. So we're going to go ahead and talk about them real quick. I don't know how many of you watched that game Sunday. I was a little bit busy trying to get the rest of the paper stuff done. So I got to see part of it, and I actually had it playing in the living room while I was sitting in my kitchen. I sit in my kitchen at the kitchen table, and I type up my stories on my computer. And I was, like I said, I was finishing stuff up. I can hear everything that's happening, and it didn't sound good. It was not good. This team is just a dumpster fire right now. And the only saving grace for this team is the fact that they have a 2-game lead on the rest of the crappiest division in football. I know that the Jaguars have been playing better lately, and they did just destroy the Titans. They beat them in Nashville for the first time in what feels like 2 decades. I know it's only been like, I think 8 or 9 years, but it feels like it's been forever, and it realistically has been. But Titans lost, and they're not very good. And I understand that a lot of people are kind of worried about, I understand that a lot of people are kind of worried about. Sorry, I had a funny message that I was reading while I was talking. It threw me off, but that's funny, Justin. It is. But I think the Titans are still going to win the division because I don't think the Jags are that good. I think that the Titans made the Jags look a little bit better than they usually would. I can't remember how many plays there were Sunday, but Dennis Daly had extra help. It was an extra blocker, and they still couldn't block anybody. Dennis Daly, let me tell you something about Dennis Daly. He has given up more sacks than anybody else from the left tackle position, and he's tied for second in the most pressures given up out of all qualifying tackles. Here's the funny thing. Out of all qualifying tackles, he has 110 less snaps than the guy next to him. In 100 less snaps, he's given up more than anybody else. Dylan Raditz even liked a tweet the other day saying, I don't believe that Dennis Daly's a better tackle than Dylan Raditz. And I don't understand how Dennis Daly could be a better left tackle than anybody. If you're as bad as it possibly gets, you could throw me out there with 2 bad knees, a tight back, congestion, no pads, and I could probably block as good as Dennis Daly does because he didn't block at all. I really feel bad for Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry's still a really good running back. He may not be as great as he was a few years ago, but he's still a really good running back. He has nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. The offensive line is bad. The play calling is bad. Everybody apparently in Nashville can get fired other than the offensive coordinator, who not only is bad at his job, but drove around drunk. John Robinson, however, got fired. Mike Vrabel is going to be the next one on the chopping block if he doesn't watch it. And not that I want Vrabel gone. I think Vrabel's one of the best coaches in the NFL. But this is how things like this work. And he's got to do something. Vrabel or somebody has to step up. Somebody has to say something about Downing because this is just really bad. Downing needs to go. And if Vrabel doesn't step up and do something about that, he's going to be the one gone. Like I said, I like Vrabel. I'd love for Vrabel to be the head coach for a long time. But with all the stuff that's going sideways right now, that's how you get fired. And we all know it. I don't want Vrabel fired, but if the ship is sinking, I don't know where it ends. I know it needs to start the next few minutes with firing Todd Downing. He's terrible at his job. I don't know, that'd be a really good question. I think I'm going to put that on Twitter later. Who is worse at their job? Dennis Daly or John Robinson or Todd Downing? I may put all three of those in a bracket together, and let's see how much of a crap show that tweet's going to be. The Titans are not good, folks, but guess what? They're going to get in the playoffs, and they're probably going to host a playoff game because they're going to win the division. They're going to host they're going to be the worst division winner. They're going to host the best wild card winner, which right now I believe is Cincinnati. If the Titans hosted Cincinnati for a playoff game right now, they just played a few weeks ago. It was ugly. Cincinnati's playing as good a football as you can right now. Tennessee would be disgusting. It wouldn't be like last year where they kick a field goal to beat us. It would be like this year where the Bengals beat the Titans by God knows how many points. But I've had enough talking about bad stuff. We're going to talk about a Braves trade. I'm not even happy about that either. We're going to go ahead and move into the Sean Murphy trade. Let me start off by saying I don't know enough about Sean Murphy to talk much about him one way or the other. I do feel like he's a Gold Glove winner, good catcher. But I'm going to rant just real quick. First of all, the catcher for the Braves have been great. The last few years, they've been really good. They've had a few injury issues, don't get me wrong, but offensively, they've been really, really good. Defensively, they could help. Of course. You could always use a little bit more help defensively. The Braves catchers have not been great defensively. The Braves offense at catcher has been better than basically any other team in the MLB other than whoever has JT Realmuto or whatever catcher goes nuts that year. I love William Contreras. I really loved William Contreras. I don't know, why did they get rid of him? I mean, Wild Bill, there was I had more fun watching him last year than anybody else on the team. I liked it. He was playing Edwin Diaz's song. He was playing it as soon as Edwin was. It's not like either one of them had rights to it. But William, I mean, he was one of my favorite players, and now we traded him for another athletic that's supposed to be good at defense and probably going to hit 240. Love it. And to piggyback off of that, again, Sean Murphy is a good catcher by all accounts. I don't have an issue with him. I hate the fact that we've given up William Contreras, but that trade, it felt like Alex Anthopoulos made that trade just to make a trade. I think he kind of knew that everybody else was doing stuff around him and he needed to do something. And I know he says he doesn't like to make moves like that, but why would you go get a catcher? The Braves catchers they've been good. The Braves catching has been really good. Man, that's just crazy. And now they're going to start. What are we going to start next season with Vaughn Grissom at shortstop for the Atlanta Braves? Is that what's about to happen? Yeah, let's go trade for the 18th catcher that we've had in God knows, 2 or 3 years. But shortstop, where I didn't want Dansby back. I thought it would be cool to go ahead and give Trey Turner the money that he was owed. Now the Braves were not going to give him the money that he got from the Phillies. The Phillies are spending money like it don't even exist right now. They're kind of like the Chiefs in football. Like there's no salary cap in baseball, and the Chiefs treat it like there's not one in football. So why not, right? If you've got the money, spend it. Congratulations, Philadelphia. You've got the best shortstop in baseball, in my opinion. But the Braves haven't done a whole lot of anything. And everybody else in the NL East, well, I don't want to say everybody because I don't think Miami or Washington are making too many moves. But the Mets and the Phillies just keep stockpiling a lot of talent. I'm not sure if the amount of stockpiled talent that the Braves have is going to be enough. But who knows? I'm going to try and trust Anthopoulos, but I will say I just doesn't make a lot of sense. Nothing makes any sense to me. I don't agree with the way anybody does anything. I think people that are in charge of everything are not everything. I think people that are in charge of 80% of stuff are complete morons, and I don't understand why decisions are made the way they are. I've been wrong before. I thought Trent Richardson was going to be a good NFL running back. I thought that, let's see, who else have I been wrong on? Have I only been wrong once? That can't be true. There's been a few other guys that I've been wrong before about, and in all sports, in all different areas. And I'm sure I might be wrong a little bit about this baseball stuff, but I don't know. It just feels like the Braves are not going to keep up. And Anthopoulos really trusts that homegrown talent. He likes those guys that he's got. But, man, trading Kyle Muller, and William Contreras in a 3-team deal to go get another catcher? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not sure if I agree with that one. I'd love to be the guy in charge for the Braves and the Titans. I should just make every decision for both teams. I don't think any of you want that. I don't think any of y'all want that at all. I don't think any of y'all want that. But I do. And I'd like to see what happens. I got one vote, I see. I don't really trust other people to make decisions. And I talked about this the other day with John Robinson. When he got fired, I understand why people want John Robinson fired. I'm not going to argue that point. But what does scare me is I just feel like the next person that comes in, it's going to be, I don't know, some buffoon that makes worse decisions. Because I don't trust the people that make the decisions on who comes in. But neither here nor there. Again, I don't get to make any decisions. I just think I should make all of them. But I'm going to do one more DMA read. This may wind up being a short episode today, which is okay. That's fine. But I'm going to do one more read. We're going to watch just a few more commercials. Y'all make sure and come back to catch the best section of the show. So Casey's Take brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522.
Here at Dixon Medical Associates, we've got you covered from neck to toe. Our orthopedics team offers services in sports medicine, foot and ankle reconstruction, spinal surgery, and more. We also have in-house imaging and physical therapy. Dixon Medical Associates. We specialize in what moves you.
I like that music. Now, welcome back to the last take of Casey's Take. It's going to be high school sports. It's usually the best take because this is what y'all are. I think some people listen to the first 20 minutes of the show just to see if I say anything ridiculous that they can bark about. But the last few minutes, those are usually pretty good. That's usually pretty good info. Local sports, people love that stuff. So, let's see. I will start you off with some news from here in Dixon. Friday, which tomorrow, Creekwood and Dixon will be playing in a basketball game. I'll be at that game. That's at Creekwood. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I love those. I love the Dixon Creekwood games. And we've got another one. The Dixon and Creekwood boys bowling teams will bowl today at 3:00 for a district championship. So I'll also be at that one. So for obvious reasons. So I actually got to, as soon as this show's ready, I got to go home, get ready, head up to the bowling alley for that. Later on this evening, Colby Lamberth, the Dixon County quarterback, he's having a signing ceremony, Eastern Kentucky University, I believe. I hope I'm out of the bowling tournament stuff for that quick enough to make it to his signing because I'd love to go see that, get a photo of it, talk to him about it. I'm sure that'd be fun for him. Let's see. Dixon played Waverly in basketball earlier this week. It was a sweep for the Cougars, I want to say. Yeah. Boys and girls both won. Big wins for both of them. Let's see. And then I went and covered Harpeth. Tuesday, they played Joe Burns. Harpeth traded with Joe Burns. I want to say Harpeth won the boys' game. Joe Burns won the girls' game. Harpeth had a chance to win the girls' game, but the offense got kind of stagnant there at the end. I also got to watch Harpeth last week against Creekwood on Friday night. That, again, was a split. We've got wrestling going. Wrestling's going huge right now. And everybody out in Cheatham County takes wrestling very seriously. It's a huge deal to them. The athletic director at Cheatham, Jeremy Boyd, is also he's the head coach for the wrestling team. Same deal for Harpeth with Coach Woods, who is now the athletic director. After Coach Mitchell, unfortunately he passed away, and I miss that dude. I miss Coach Mitchell. I'd love to run into him, but after he passed away, Coach Woods took it over. Coach Woods has been coaching the wrestling team in Harpeth since I've taken over the paper, so he's been doing it a long time before that. But they've got a great program. And Coach Woods sent me some info late last week. I wasn't able to get it in the paper. That's going to be in the photo. It's going to be in the paper next week or this upcoming week. I'll be able to get that information in. Cheatham just wrestled against Creekwood and another team last week. Sycamore, Coach Hamlin out there, they're serious about it too. I got to get in contact with him. I'd like to see if he's got any info for me to run. Dixon wrestled against Forest and Northeast, I want to say, last week. We had some photos of that. Or no, that was 2 weeks ago. We did have some photos of that. We ran that last week. So wrestling's going big. Bowling's in the playoffs. Basketball we're right at Christmas, and everybody knows as soon as you get back from Christmas, basketball, when you start playing a lot of those district games and a lot of the closer games where everybody knows everybody, it gets really fun. So got a lot to look forward to. Of course, I'm going to keep you boys and girls updated on the bowling teams, but a lot to get into with basketball coming up. And be on the lookout for the paper the next few weeks. I do believe I've started putting together the all-county all-county soccer and all-county volleyball teams. I have not started on volleyball yet. So, coaches, if you hear me talking about that, I know I haven't reached out to you yet. I haven't started on it yet, but I'm going to. So we're going to try and get the all-county soccer and all-county volleyball teams in both the Dixon Post and Cheatham County Exchange throughout the holiday season. And then early next year, I'm going to start on the all-county football teams. So I'll probably run that sometime around something in the playoffs. I want to keep it, when people are still thinking about football, that's kind of when I want to run the all-county football team. So these days keep going by. They go by quick. So I got to get started on all this stuff. Always something. Always a lot going on. Everything's busy. Everybody's busy. You see my name down there on the bottom, at CVP51. Come find me on Twitter. Argue with me. Tell me why I'm wrong. I like it when people argue with me. Y'all, thanks for hanging out with me. This is Casey's Take, brought to you by DMA and DMA Orthopedics. Make sure y'all come back next week and stay warm out there.